No, yeah, he's done. So that we'll see Breech what's next year. I think I was thinking about this. 18 years of Big Ben. That's a pretty good run. 2 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl wins. And I was thinking about you when I was having the thought about post Big Ben. I actually am it'll be interesting to see how things go. And it'll be like on some level fun to watch the Steelers try to figure out how to win football games without a franchise quarterback. I would imagine you wouldn't categorize that as fun, given what you've been through in the post Carson Wentz world, pre Joe Burrow world. But we'll see. Like Lamar Jackson, we'll see what happens with Baker. Of course, Joe Burrow, it's in Cincinnati. And now it'll be Mason Rudolph. It'll be, good Lord, Dwayne Haskins. Maybe they'll draft someone. Maybe they'll sign a Mariota or some type quarterback. And it's going to be interesting. Now, Tomlin's shown that he can win at least half his games no matter who the quarterback is. But when a fan base has been spoiled, they get angry and they want much more than that. And on some level, I think the Steelers fans have a right to be upset with it. Like offensive coordinator Matt Canada is terrible. He was one of the worst offensive coordinators they've had in recent memory, and I've been watching this football team religiously for 20 years or whatever. And I think some of that falls on Tomlin, but I think at the end of the day, there's only one Bill Belichick, and you have to be happy with what you have. If you have someone like Tomlin or Shanahan or McVay or Sean Payton, so. I would imagine you were happy to see Roethlisberger retire. Not at this point, not the way he's playing now, but the way he was, in the prime, those prime 10 to 12 years.
It's funny because I know so many friends. I have so many friends that are Steelers fans, and I would say almost I had like a love-hate relationship with Roethlisberger's career as someone who grew up as a Bengals fan. I mean, I got to watch him in college. I went to college. I went to Miami of Ohio with him. I worked for Miami's football team. And so I liked watching him succeed in the NFL as long as it wasn't at the expense of the Bengals. I can say this now that he's going to be retired. And, you never really heard me ripping on him too much. I think it's a good thing that a quarterback from Miami of Ohio is going to retire with 2 Super Bowls and get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So it's really interesting to, I told you I was secretly hoping that they would beat the Chiefs on Sunday night, and I wouldn't have minded that at all. So it will be interesting though to see kind of the change of power and the changing of the guard in the AFC North now that he's gone, because it's just been Ben beating up on the Browns, Ben beating up on all the Ohio teams who passed on him in the draft, and he would just beat up on them, and the Ravens being the only team that was really consistently a match for the past 18 years. So definitely there's going to be a changing of the guard, but he had a great career, and that's
what a backhanded eulogy that is for people.
That's pretty good.
Sure. I'm just kidding. No, yeah. I mean, look, you wore your Miami of Ohio. You were there with it, because you were in college with, like, I was in college with Rivers. You were in college with Ben. I mean,
oh God, here we go. I got to bring it back around.
No, I'm just saying that, like, you go to college with an NFL quarterback who has a 15, 20-year career, and you root for whoever. Like, I was a Colts fan. If Ben went and played a year in Miami, replaced Tuanon, and like Breech would be, kind of cheerful. Breech's situation is unique because he's a Bengals fan who has to watch Big Ben rip his heart out year after year after year. I don't know why I'm not like I've grown sentimental or anything, but I tweeted that I was like, when he threw that touchdown pass, it's like, just pull him. I know you won't do it, but just I do.
Somebody asked in the comments, does anyone else think Will looks exactly like Big Ben from Justin Blee?
There you go. The pic that was up of Big Ben looks similar to me, especially with this black hoodie on, but in real life, you would like if Ben and I stood next to each other, you would not be like, oh, those two guys look alike. It's the beard and the hoodie. That's all it is. But I tweeted that I was like, man, get Big Ben out of here. So his last throw of his career is a touchdown. And most of the responses were people who were like mad at me because I was saying something nice about Big Ben. I guess I'd forgotten that we were supposed to hate Ben. I think I'd started to like Ben.
Why are we supposed to hate him? I get Breech.
Well, let me just say that there is definitely
the general public dislikes Big Ben.
Well, the general public dislikes him because he's got 2 sexual assault accusations hanging over his head, and he had to settle those. And I feel like even me following his career, I became pretty indifferent to him after that, because you can't be doing that. You're the face of the NFL at that time, and he had played in 3 Super Bowl in his first 8 years, and he's just out there acting like
a terrible person in the creek.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, and that's why, and that's why everyone hates him, and that's a good reason for not liking someone. So there's.
Did you tweet that picture?
What
that was
the
from
picture
2020.
So yeah, I think he's definitely got a legacy that will be difficult to deal with. When he enters the Pro Football Hall of Fame, you can't just erase these things from his past. They happened, and that's a conversation that the Hall of Fame committee will have. And
I mean, I don't disagree with you at all in the sense that, but we've heard Hall of Fame voters say specifically about Darren Sharper when asked about his case for the Hall of Fame. I'm not saying I agree that they said that it doesn't matter what you do off the field.
Ask Terrell Owens if that's true.
But by
the way, who did nothing illegal. He was just not.
Correct. Yeah. Look, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I'm just telling you how it works. I'm not saying that it works correctly. I don't know if settling those lawsuits, I don't know if that's viewed differently or whatever, because he was never. Ben is a surefire lock job, no doubt, first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback with 2 Super Bowls. Probably the most important, the most significant significant offensive player in Steelers history. Terry Bradshaw.
No, that's right. He is.
Old people might take umbrage with that and say that it's Bradshaw, but
no, even Bradshaw, who has had a contentious relationship at times with the Steelers.
And look, I thought the whole retirement thing on Monday Night Football was ridiculous. So whatever. I'm just saying.
And you know what? We missed that. We didn't have a podcast after his last home game, so at least we're giving him his proper career send off now.
Well, for people we've had several people ask about this either via email or Twitter or in the comments on YouTube. We will, when Big Ben, and he's made it awkward, right? He hasn't announced he's retiring, which is fine.
Which is weird.
It's weird.
It's like he's hoping someone will call him, or
the Steelers will screw up and won't have an answer, and he'll have to.
He's gonna call McVay and be like, "Hey, remember when I recruited you to Miami? How about you recruit me to LA and I fill in for Stafford?"
Yes, you can make a case for Franco Harris or Lynn Swann. I'm just saying that Ben. Yeah, look. Anyway, when Ben officially retires, we'll have a Big Ben emergency retirement.
No, he's gone.
When he officially announces his retirement, we will have.
Yeah. No, that was a good run. I was telling Breech while you were gone that it was certainly, it's fun to have a franchise quarterback for 18 years, or at least a large portion of those 18 years. And then I said to Breech, who I'm sure he didn't feel similarly, but I am actually sort of interested to see how this plays out without having a quarterback, how they find ways to win football games. And we got a glimpse of that for large parts of this year, and when Duck Hodges and Mason Rudolph had to do things. So yeah, it was a good run, and I'm glad that my fanship is wavering. I'm not a hardcore fan like I was, 8-9 years ago, so I can pull for good football.
Matt Boatwright in the chat, and if you're in the chat and you haven't pressed it yet, hit the like button on the YouTube.
What did Matt say?
Matt said we still need a full Big Ben pod. We are going to do a full Big Ben pod. He is making it weird for us by doing the retirement.
He's not making it weird for me, but for you guys.
I'm just saying from a content perspective, he's making it annoying because he's doing all the retirement.
You refused to do it after the Monday night game because you said you didn't think it was right.
That's a blatant lie.
This is true. I can back up that statement.
Thank you, Debo.